Hey there, this is Delta Zero of Living Vicariously HD, but today I'm coming to you as Kyle, my real name. My channel is usually a place that's fun. It's a place that I express myself creatively, my interests, my hobbies, crack some jokes, make a little money. Sometimes real life interferes with all that, and I have to address some things because they do affect the channel, and I really it's healthy for me to put this out here, so. Okay, so on March 17th of 2017, Michelle and I broke up for the very last time. 3 days later, on March 20th, my cat Aiden died. We had to put him to sleep. That's life. Things don't always work out, and it's not always fair. I'll talk about Aiden in a little bit. I want to end talking about him because he's very important to me and my family as well. In regards to Michelle, for those of you who reached out to me for the eulogy video I uploaded the first time we broke up last year, thank you. People were very kind. They were rooting for us to get back together. It was very sweet. Out of respect for Michelle, I'm not going to reiterate that story or all of the opinions I had and all that because I'll say this, I believe they're all true more than ever. But at the same time, this isn't the right platform to talk about this kind of stuff. I do want to address something though, and I'm going to make this a very firm statement. I will not tolerate accusations that are hurtful or untrue against me or my character. I loved Michelle immensely. I don't want anyone to think that I didn't or that it was some kind of a mirage. I cared about that girl more than anything. She was my baby. She was my seashell. She was the first girl I loved in God knows how many years. I cared about her so much, and I wanted to help in any way I could with any problems she was dealing with, and there are many. I think the situation between us is basically trying to fit a square peg into a circle hole. Trying to force somebody to function in a relationship that they don't entirely want at all given times. People don't always know who they are in the world, and sometimes they can't figure it out. And no matter how hard you try, you can't expect somebody who's not functioning entirely as a self to know how to accommodate in a relationship and to adequately love when they first gotta love themselves. I love Michelle, and I hope she figures all that stuff out. But I have accepted that this thing just isn't destined to work. So in closing, I guess I will say this. I sincerely hope Michelle surrounds herself with those who love her and care about her and want to see her progress, and not people who just want to enable. Communication is instrumental in successful relationships. How do I know this? Because I've been a failure in my life with communication. I have failed in relationships because I didn't want to communicate, I didn't want to talk on the phone, I didn't want to do my part. That's why when Michelle and I got together, I vowed to myself that things would be different. And I can honestly look back at our relationship and say things were different. Again, going forward on this channel, there will be plenty of videos of Michelle and I don't believe in escapism. I don't believe in hiding the past. The past is what it is. And Michelle and I had great times together. We had great times. When we were on our game, we were a wonderful couple. And that's largely what you're going to see going forward on this channel before it all goes away. So from the death of a relationship to the death of a beloved animal. My cat Aiden was the best cat I could have ever dreamed of having. When my childhood cat, Mr. Kelly, died in 2010, we got Aiden a couple months later. And we had no idea what we were in store for with that cat. We got a Persian cat named Mrs. Kelly that, she's every bit of a Persian cat. She's got the uppity attitude. But Aiden was a sweetheart. That cat never scratched, bit, clawed. He never attacked anybody. That cat never hissed once in his entire life. He lived to be 6 years old. He's going to be 7 in about 2 or 3 weeks. He would have been. His short life, that cat brought us so much love. And I miss him immensely. And he was my mom's baby. She called him her little pork chop. My dad loved him too. We believe he had intestinal lymphoma, I think is what it's called. It's essentially a cancer. It caused his appetite to be crazy. He had a crazy appetite and just would not gain an ounce of weight. He was hypersensitive to all foods. And towards the end of his life, he started rejecting the only food he could eat. And that's kind of what really led us to realizing it was time. When it actually happened, we put him to sleep. I just remember watching your own mother's heartbreak is horrible. When we came home, like I went back home with my mom, and my dad came home from work and he didn't know. We didn't want to tell him. So he came home, the first thing he said was, "How's he doing?" And then my mom goes, "Well, he's no longer here." And like my dad looked like he just saw a ghost. Like I just watched my dad's heartbreak, and my dad usually only expresses emotion when he's mad at something. He was such an integral part of our family. He was such a sweetheart that we accepted him as a family member, not just a pet. Everyone was deeply saddened to learn, because this cat was so nice. They were deeply saddened to learn about his passing. We had him cremated. We have his ashes on display. I'm currently working on videos and pictures. I'm going to do a nice slideshow thing. I'm sure I'll do something for the YouTube channel as well. This is how loving this cat was. You put your arm out, and he would grab onto it, and he'd put a little bit of his claws in, and you could like move your hand all around the carpet, and he would just grab onto you. But he would never ever hurt you. He would know when enough was enough, and he'd bat with his back hind legs and trying to get your arm, but he would never ever ever hurt you. That cat was a genuinely gentle soul, and only having him for 6 years may be a tragedy, but I would experience this tragedy over and over and over if it was 6 years with that sweet cat again. Knowing how powerful this stuff is and how important it is to have that kind of love. That kind of love makes sense of the world. It gives you empathy. And if you don't have empathy, you're all messed up in the head. But a cat like Aiden, it's like this is what matters in life, this kind of stuff. Being that close to your family, to like hurt together and know that this creature meant so much to everybody. That he was a friend and he was a member of the family. And I hope that one day I'll get to the point where I can give this to somebody else, so they can grow up and be a good person and be kind to people and be good to people. People who deserve it, at least. You know, it's the tango between making somebody into a strong-willed, heavy backbone person who stands up for themselves while also being a teddy bear on the inside. So I'm still dealing with this, and this is going to be a year of great change in my life. I'm about to graduate the first part of college, and immediately I'm transitioning to a different school to get a second degree. I'm going to keep going on and doing my thing. I'm not going to concede. I'm not going to give up. You know, I'm a very cynical person a lot of the time, but it's these dark moments that bring out my optimism, because I know one day things will be better, and I will be a better person for going through this and experiencing what I've experienced. And I hope the same thing can be applied to Michelle. As angry as I admittedly am, as frustrated, as heartbroken, and all these negative things as I am, I still remember the good times, and I still hope goodness in her and that she figures things out for herself and for whoever comes next in her life. It feels like 1,000,000 pounds are off my shoulders doing this vlog, getting this all out there. So I guess that's all I have to say. Take care, everybody. Hug your pets. Treat your girlfriends and boyfriends right. Be considerate, be honest, be kind. All these positive, wonderful things. And thank you for supporting me or subscribing or whatever else you may do. I appreciate it all. This is a fun outlet for me on most days that aren't today. Thank you.